Hi there. Today we're going to learn how to solve for an unknown side length using the SOHCAHTOA part of trigonometry. So the very first thing I want you to do before we get started is to look down at your calculator and make sure it is in degree mode. If you need to press pause on the video so that you can make sure your calculator is in degree mode, do that now. Otherwise, let's get started. The very first thing you need to know is where your theta is. So you're going to mark your reference angle, which is right there. That's where my theta is. The next thing you're going to do is to label the side you know and the side you are trying to determine with either opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. So the side we are trying to figure out is the opposite side. The side that we know is the hypotenuse. So because we are using O and H, we would be using the sine formula. So this problem deals with opposite and hypotenuse, so which means it is using sine. So the first thing you do is write down the formula that you're going to use. So sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. You're going to replace the variables with the known values. Well, we know that theta is equal to 35. We don't know what the opposite is, but it's x. And the hypotenuse is equal to 15. And then now we're going to cross multiply. When you cross multiply, just remember that there is a 1 underneath that sine 35. So when you cross multiply, you get x equals 15 times sine 35. So in your calculator, 15 times sine 35 is equal to 8.6. Remember, some of you, instead of writing 15 times sine 35, will have to write 15 times 35 sine. So that is 8.6, and round your answer to the desired value. Typically, we round side lengths to 1 decimal place, and we round angles to the nearest whole number. So, some calculators, you would type in 15 times sine 35 equals, and other calculators you would have to type in 15 times 35 sine equals. What you'll have to do is decide which one of these would give you 8.6. You would typically use this one if you have what is called a display calculator, and you would use this one if it was a non-display. A display calculator is one that shows you what you're typing in exactly the way you're typing it in. A non-display is a calculator that just shows you the last number that you've typed in. Either which way, try them both and see which one gives you 8.6. Let's try another example. So, mark your reference angle. There it is. There's our reference angle. Label the side that you know and the side you're trying to determine. So the side we're trying to determine is opposite the right angle, so that is equal to the hypotenuse. The side that we know is touching the angle of 41, so that's the adjacent side. So this problem deals with adjacent and hypotenuse, so that means we're going to use the cosine formula. So what you're going to do now is write down the formula. So cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Substitute in what you know. You know that theta is 41. You know that the adjacent side is 20 and the hypotenuse side is x. Remember, there is a 1 underneath that. So when you cross multiply, you're going to get x times cos 41 equals 20. Now to solve for x, you have to divide both sides by cos 41. So now in your calculator, it's either 20 divided by cos 41 equals, if it's a display calculator, or 20 divided by 41 cos equals, if it's non-display. Either which way, you should get 26.5, so we will round that to 27 degrees. So these are the basics to using SOHCAHTOA to determine a missing side length. The next two questions deal with word problems. So this is what I'm going to have you do. Let's read the problem. From a point on the ground 25 feet from the foot of the tree, so using cubes, we're going to circle what we know. It's 25 feet from the foot of a tree. The angle of elevation to the top of the tree is 32 degrees. Find to the nearest foot the height of the tree. So underline the problem. Find to the nearest foot the height of the tree. What I want you to do is to press pause on the video, and I want you to try to draw the diagram. So make a right triangle out of it. I want you to label where the angle is, where the 90-degree symbol is, the side you know, and the side you're trying to figure out. So press pause and try to draw the diagram. So here's what your diagram should look like. Here is the point on the ground, which is 25 feet from the foot of the tree. The angle of elevation, remember that goes from the horizontal up, is 32 degrees, and we're going to find the height of the tree. Here's our right triangle, and there's our right triangle symbol right there. So here is our angle. So the side we know is the adjacent side. The side we are trying to figure out is the opposite side. So that means we are going to be using tangent. So tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Substitute in what we know. We know theta is equal to 32. The opposite is h. The adjacent is 25. And cross multiply. H is equal to 25 times tan 32. And that is equal to 15.6 feet. So what you're going to do is you're going to press pause on the video again, and you're going to try this example. And when you have done, do the whole example, not just the picture, but do the whole example, picture and all of the work. When you're finished, come back to the video and check your answer. Press pause now, please. Okay, welcome back. If you did this correctly, you should have got that the answer was 29.8 feet. So to start with, the barn is 25 feet tall. So you're looking here, you see a cat on the ground. The angle of depression is 40 degrees. So what you want to remember, angle of depression goes from the horizontal downwards. Then, because of the Z pattern, that 40 degrees of the angle of depression is the same as the angle of elevation for the cat of 40 degrees. And we're trying to figure out how many feet the cat must walk to reach the barn. So that's going to be this distance right here. So we are trying to figure out the adjacent. We know the opposite. So that's going to be using the tan formula. Substitute in what you know, cross multiply. So that's it to our video. If there's any of this that you didn't understand, please make a mark of it and ask your teacher in class the next day. I hope you enjoyed learning how to solve for unknown sides using SOHCAHTOA. Have a good day. Bye-bye.